Hi, one of the questions that I'm getting asked a lot across my social media at the moment is WW versus Slimming World. I have done a couple of videos on it. One of the questions was, which did I lose easier on? It's really difficult for me to say when it comes to the difference between Slimming World and WW. There were very different times of my weight loss journey. I did Slimming World when I first started. I weighed in at 31 stone 1 pound, so that's 435 pounds at my heaviest. These are my before pictures. I literally don't have many pictures of my biggest. I hid from the camera as much as possible. I'm really glad that I took these because literally I'd have nothing if I didn't. But these are my before pictures. Like I said, I weighed in at 31 stone 1 pound. When I decided to do it, I chose Slimming World. I'd done various diets before. I'd done Slimming World loads of times. WW, or Weight Watchers as it was back then, I'd only done it a couple of times, and it just hadn't gone well. So it wasn't even on my radar at that point. So when I started Slimming World, I made the conscious decision that I was going to abstain from a lot of foods that are my trigger foods. And there are an awful lot of foods that are my trigger foods. Literally any food's my trigger food. I'm a big cheese eater. But there was no way that I was going to be able to cut that out. So I decided that I was going to use Sins for cheese. I was going to use it as my healthy extra and also as my Sins. My other trigger foods are obviously the obvious ones. I've got cake, chocolate, crisps, literally any rubbish I would eat, pork pies, anything like that. I made the conscious decision that I was going to abstain from all of those. I literally used my Sins on cheese and mayonnaise. That was it. When I did Slimming World, I just needed to feel full. That was my aim. Starting any weight loss plan or any diet, it's going to be what suits you at the time. Now, to me, it was just being full, because if I was full, I wasn't then thinking about food. And also I'd made that conscious decision that I was going to abstain from everything. I cleared my house out of everything and I literally abstained for 8 whole months. That worked for me at the time. It's not going to work for everybody. And people, I follow a lot of Instagram accounts where people are doing Slimming World and they don't abstain. They will use their Sins on chocolate, they'll use them on crisps, and that's fine. But I needed for myself to abstain from everything. That was a conscious choice that I needed to make. I needed to know that I didn't need those foods, because in my head I needed those foods and I didn't. I really don't. I don't need them. I want them and I like them and I will have them now, but I needed to know that I can live without them, and I did for 8 months. I lost a significant amount of weight very quickly, but then bear in mind I was 31 stone 1 pound. I lost 7 stone 6 on Slimming World in 8 months. Slimming World was brilliant at the time. That's what I needed. I needed to be able to eat pasta, I needed to be able to eat potatoes, and I needed to be able to eat lean meat, and plenty of it. I would use my healthy extras for cheese, occasionally milk, but also I'd have overnight oats for breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. You can see from my what I eat in a day video, I'm not really a breakfasty person. I never have been. I used to work on wards and it was early starts. I'm just not really, I just can't face breakfast normally in the morning. But when I did Slimming World, I made sure I had 3 substantial meals and I would snack on meat. I'd have pasta salad in the fridge. I just needed to feel full, and Slimming World served its purpose for me there. Obviously I lost an awful lot of weight on it, but then if I'd have done another plan, would I have lost the same amount of weight? I can't say, but you probably would have lost a significant amount on any diet that I'd done at that point. My weight loss started to slow down. I had a particularly bad gain. Stay the same over Christmas, sorry, which was devastating because I'd literally stuck to plan. So in the January, I started in the April of 2015 on Slimming World, and in the January of 2016 was when I started to get a little bit, I needed a change. I'd stuck to plan way over Christmas and I'd stayed the same, which normally, if it had been a normal week, wouldn't have bothered me, but it was the fact that it was Christmas and I'd stuck to it, and New Year, and I'd stuck to it and just stayed the same. So it was starting to niggle in my head a little bit, and the fact that I'd gone without everything for 8 months, I then needed to know that I could start eating those things again. But I was also missing bread. I'd have overnight oats for breakfast, therefore bread was coming out of my sins more than anything, and it was mostly brown bread. It was my choice, so that's literally what it is. It's what you want to spend your sins on, points on if you're doing WW. But like I said, it was becoming I was starting to niggle in my head, so I decided to Google what's the difference between WW and Slimming World, and someone had put you can have white bread. That was it for me. I thought, right, let's have a look at the plan. Had a look online, decided to join there and then. It was Weight Watchers at the time, and they'd just brought out the Smart Points plan, which is the green plan now. It all looked really good. Joined, had 56 points dailies, because I was still quite a big lass. I think it was around 23 and a half stone at that point, so I had lost a lot, and I'd lost a lot very quickly with Slimming World, and I'll be eternally grateful to Slimming World for just embedding those habits. It was that got me into the habits and the routines that have carried me through WW. So I would never knock Slimming World whatsoever. I just can't do it now because my portions are still, I need to weigh and measure everything, and my portions on Slimming World would just get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's me. If you can portion control, that's brilliant. I'm just not very good at it. So when I started WW, I started in the April of 2016. No, I didn't. I started in January 2016. And the first week I lost 6 or 7 pounds, which was amazing. I'd had a McDonald's, which I hadn't had for 8 months, McDonald's breakfast. I had the odd chocolate bar, I had a packet of crisps. The freedom was immense, and the fact that I could eat exactly what I wanted and not feel guilty about it was really, really liberating. Every other diet plan that I'd tried before, every time I'd eaten something I'd feel guilty about it. With WW, I don't feel that. As long as it's within my points and I've got points to use it on, I find it extremely liberating that I can have exactly what I want and exactly what I fancy and not feel guilty about it. That's a good thing for me. So it took me from January 2016 to April 2018 to lose just over 10 stone. So obviously I lost really quickly with Slimming World and slowed up slightly, well, quite significantly with WW. I'm going to say it's nothing to do with WW. I had some issues around bloating and huge bloating. I can gain like a stone, then it takes me ages to get that bloat off. It then takes me a while to then get back into it and start losing again. Then I'll have a period of time where I lose quite a lot quite quickly, then I'll build up to a bloat again. I don't know if I had this previously. I don't think I did. I'm not entirely sure, but then I was quite big and I don't know if I had bloats before or not. But I do have these significant bloats every sort of 4 or 5 months. They were coming, and obviously my weight loss was going to slow anyway. It was inevitable that it was going to slow down. Plus the fact that I personally choose to use all of my dailies and weeklies, and I always will use them, so obviously that's going to make it slightly slower as well. But that's just how I embedded my habits and routines with WW. I got into very, very good routines and habits with Slimming World, with the fact that I know that I don't need those foods. I don't need things like chocolate crisps and cakes, but with WW I can have them and I can point them. So it's about learning to have a lifestyle and be able to live and be able to go out, be able to socialise, and not feel like I'm restricted. And that's what I learned with WW, and that's why I continue with it. The Blue Plan did come in towards the end of 2017, and the Blue Plan really doesn't suit me. That's just me personally. I think I have issues around lentils not helping with weight loss. I don't think eggs help me whatsoever, and also plain yogurt doesn't help with my weight loss at all. I think the protein is good, but I think those kind of foods sort of bloat me a little bit as well. I did have quite a significant and quite a bad bloat as soon as the Blue Plan came in, so I'm not going to put it on those foods, but it was just quite coincidental. And also from, I think it came in the November. From the November to the April, it took me that long to lose a stone. It was just ridiculous. I'd like gain a couple of pounds, lose a couple of pounds, gain a couple of pounds, lose a couple of pounds. At one point I gained like 7 or 8 pounds, and then it took me weeks to get it off again. As much as I can, I try to stay on plan. You can see from my daily foods, I do try and pretty much stay on it if I can. I try and get in that mindset and I just get my head down and go for it. I find it better for me if I just get my head down, sort myself out, and just try and go for it as much as possible. But at those times, it's when things start creeping in. Well, you're not losing it anyway, you might as well have a McDonald's. You're not losing it anyway, go and buy that bar of chocolate. Those kind of thoughts start coming into your head. I try my damnedest not to let those get to me, but at times they were at that point. Anyway, finally got to goal in April 2018. That's when I decided to join the gym. So while I was losing weight, I did not exercise really. I occasionally went for a bit of a walk. I parked my car a little bit further away. I might walk to the shops instead of getting in the car, but I didn't do anything significant exercise wise. So as soon as I got to go, join the gym. Absolutely horrendous. The combination of the Blue Plan, which doesn't work that well for me, and the fact that I was exercising made me gain weight, which was a nightmare. From the April to the August, I continued to try and do the Blue Plan to the best of my ability. By the August, I was pretty much heading towards a bit of an eating disorder. Because my weight was going up, and then it wasn't really coming down, and then it would go down a little tiny bit, I started thinking, and people on WW Connect was starting to mention about calories, and be careful how much you're eating, be careful how much chicken you're eating, be careful how much yogurt you're eating. I didn't get fat eating chicken, I didn't get fat eating yogurt, but those thoughts were starting to creep into my head, and they were really starting to chip away at me. In the August, I sat down and thought, I know what I'll do no count. WW do no longer support no count. They've got the purple plan, which is kind of similar, but it's not. No count is oddly more like Slimming World than WW plans that they've got currently. It's more whole wheat pasta, lean meats, you can have potatoes, but you eat until you're satisfied rather than having it as free food. At the time, no count suited me. I did no count for well over a year. And I maintained on that really, really well. I even lost weight on it when I needed to. I could pull it back, I could eat a little bit more if I wanted to, continue to use all my weeklies. So that's no count for me. I do miss it occasionally, but the green plans back. When the green plan came back in, when WW decided that they were going to change plans, and they were going to bring 3 plans in, I knew blue wasn't for me because that is literally flex and freestyle, which just doesn't suit me. I thought I'd go purple plan because I'd been doing no count for so long. The problem when the purple plan came out was the carb side, which never really did it for me anyway. I've spent so long on WW cutting back on my carbs with the Smart Points plan, still having them but cutting back a little bit. When the purple plan came out, it was literally, I'm never going to eat enough oats, and I'm never going to eat enough potatoes and stuff to justify those losing those 14 points that I get extra with the green plan. That's purely me, but I was a little bit disappointed that milk wasn't 0 pointed, and I was a little bit disappointed that there weren't any other meats in there. It's literally the same as the blue plan, so it's just the turkey and the chicken breast that are 0. So when I sort of found that out, I was like, oh, I'm not entirely sure the purple plan's going to be for me. Then it hit me, the green plan's coming back, the Smart Points plan's coming back. I'll just do that. I absolutely loved it. I can eat exactly what I want. From my food, you can see I'm a little bit of a grabber and goer. I do not plan. I'm not a planner at all. I can change my mind 4 or 5 times to what I'm going to eat from the morning to the evening. I'm very indecisive, but I just muddle along. I literally have foods in that I know I can do sort of a 10-pointed meal with if I need. I've got 3-pointed meals if I need to. There's always something that I can do. So it was the green plan for me. Obviously different plans are going to suit different people. It really does depend on your lifestyle, and it's the same with Slimming World and WW. It depends on your lifestyle, what fits in, and it's also what your needs are physically as well. If you want to feel full and satisfied, it's Slimming World all the way. But I've got to the point now where I've learned portion control. My stomach has shrunk quite significantly. I can't eat like I used to, which is why when I have a day off, I buy loads of food and I just can't eat it all. It's terrible. WW has ruined me when it comes to eating a load of rubbish. Anyway, they're the difference in plans. It is entirely up to you, your lifestyle, what your physical needs are, and what you want out of a plan and what you want out of a diet. I really struggled when it came to Slimming World and grabbing stuff on the go and eating out. But that's just me personally. Other people go out with Slimming World and they can go and grab something to eat, and that's fine. It was just the way that I was eating, I was using my healthy extras, so then I couldn't sort of grab a sandwich. It was one of those. So yeah, the difference is it's what's going to suit you. Weight loss wise, I lost quicker with Slimming World, but I lost more with Weight Watchers. So that's just the way it was. Obviously my weight loss slowed, but my weight loss would have slowed anyway. It's the same with when I started Slimming World. If whatever plan that I decided to do, whether it was Slimming World, WW, I would have lost reasonably quickly anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, it is literally what suits you at the time. I've gone on quite a long time on this one, so if you're still with me, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have. See you later. Goodbye.